Lamar Jackson rumors to the New York Jets are circling around. And what's that mean for Garrett Wilson? What's it mean for Breece Hall? What's it mean for Lamar's value? And is it likely? How likely is it that Lamar could be a New York football Jet? Deandre Hopkins has a no-trade clause, or does he? We talked about it last night, that he had a no-trade clause, potentially had the Cardinals by the nads, but that doesn't look to be the case anymore because his no-trade clause has been voided due to the PED positive test last year. We've got a lot to talk about in relation to quarterback movement, Lamar. What does it mean if he did go to New York? How likely is it? The DeAndre Hopkins value. Where do you value him in 2023 fantasy football? All of that and more. The Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now, pals. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show. You are watching a breaking news show. We do this all the time. Whenever there's news breaking, we jump on and we talk about it live because that's how we roll. We absolutely don't leave any stone unturned. And in this situation, we got two pieces of news we need to talk about on an emergency live stream session. This is not the 7 p.m. show. We're still going live at 7 p.m. Your boy Smitty goes live multiple times per day. And sometimes 3 and 4 times per day, especially during smoke season. Now let's touch on. I'm gonna touch on the Lamar stuff first. Let's talk about this. Lamar Jackson. There was a report that came out today. This report right here suggests that this is from Peter King. Believes the Jets could seriously consider trading for Lamar Jackson if they're unable to acquire Aaron Rodgers. We do know that Aaron Rodgers is their first target, their first wish, what they want to happen. Before anything else. And let's go to the quarterback movement board and look at it. So if we talk about Aaron Rodgers, we'll put this right here. We talk about the New York Football Jets. This is definitely their target, right? But Aaron Rodgers is going into a darkness retreat. We got this guy, Derek Carr, here, third on the quarterback ranking scale here. He's available right now. He can sign today. He can sign tomorrow. Everyone else has to wait until next month because they're free agents. This guy was released so he can go wherever he wants. He has a huge and clear advantage. And the New York Football Jets might be saying to themselves, look, we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to come out of this darkness retreat wanting to even play football, let alone get traded. We don't know that the Baltimore Ravens are going to actually trade Lamar. So therefore, we might need to strike now, or we could be left without either of these guys. And if this guy goes somewhere else, because we're sitting on our hands, so we don't know. We don't know. The Jets could swoop in and scoop up this guy Derek Carr. We don't know. We know that their target is Aaron Rodgers. If it's me, Aaron Rodgers is the best fit for the New York Football Jets. They are, plain and simple. And in New York, they have the components in place to win now. I think if Aaron Rodgers gave them 2 years, and we don't know if he could do that because he barely knows if he's going to play this year. I doubt he comes out saying, I'll give you 2 years. But if they had an indication that he could play 2 years, if they don't do it in year one and he feels like they're building something, then I think Aaron Rodgers to New York is the best fit, even if it's for 2 years guaranteed. And we don't know that it will be. I'm just saying, if you could tell me in a crystal ball, Smitty, he retires after his second year, but he will play 2. That's better for the Jets than any kind of more long-term option with Lamar or Derek Carr, in my opinion, because 2 years is a long time. 2 years is enough time to do what they need to do. The New York Jets are ready to win now. This is a Cincinnati Bengal type formula and blueprint for a team build, and whether people want to acknowledge it or not, I really don't care if people want to hate on it. It's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I believe the New York Jets are in Cincinnati Bengal blueprint mode. And if they got an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who I think is more effective in New York than Lamar, more effective in New York than Derek Carr, it's worth less longevity because of what you could do in the 1 or 2 year window. Now, I will say from a redraft perspective, I love Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers most of all. From a dynasty perspective, is Derek Carr or Lamar for Garrett Wilson a little more secure? Absolutely. But will he be an absolute monster for 2 years more so with Aaron Rodgers? I kind of feel like maybe, yeah. If Aaron Rodgers goes to New York, I firmly believe I firmly believe Garrett Wilson's a top 4 wide receiver. This moon man of a man.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
This guy right here, Garrett Wilson, top 4 wide receiver in 2023 with Aaron Rodgers.
Space Moon says.
Probably still top 5 to 7 with Lamar Jackson or Derek Carr, honestly. Walker was the most recent Moon Man addition, Kyle Pitts. But guess who's also on the Mars Men list? Who is a Mars Man?
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Yep, it's Garrett Wilson, baby. It's Garrett Wilson. Look at him right in the middle there. Garrett Wilson is a Mars Man.
And spinning aimlessly in space.
I still got to fix this because Gibbs is just smashed in the back. But I want to fix that, not live, because it's going to take me a while to retool it. But look, Garrett Wilson's looking at you right now. He's looking at you with those Garrett Wilson eyes, and he's saying, I'm going to shine. I am a star. I'm going to shine. I'm going to Mars so that I can light Mars up with my performance that's going to ignite and explode all over in space. Payload drop ensuing in 2023. And so back to the point at hand, it's like, what do we want? Lamar. We're talking about Lamar, though. Okay, Lamar to the Jets. Is it a nice fit? It is and it isn't. Like, it is and it isn't. It's not that it isn't at all, I guess. It's more so, does Breece Hall get vultured? You know, do the touchdowns that go to Breece Hall now get somewhat divided up between Lamar and Breece Hall? Maybe he runs less in New York because he's got weapons. Look, he hasn't had weapons before. He hasn't had a Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, who gets forgotten, I think. Elijah Moore is a real solid wide receiver. But Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall, you got Sauce Gardner in the D, keeping the offense on the field, good field position, keeping both sides are cascading back and forth. Defense supports the offense supports the defense. Both stay healthy, both stay on the field at a nice pace instead of being shoved back onto the field in a crazy way that tires one of the sides out. The defense isn't getting worn out because it's not always on the field. Lamar in New York wouldn't be a disaster. Lamar in New York would be good for Garrett Wilson. We've seen Lamar do well with Hollywood Brown, so it's not like he's only prone to throwing and doing well with tight ends. But even though his tight end has been his main weapon, I think it's important to note that Mark Andrews was the best pass-catching option. I don't know that we can tie it to, it's tight ends that Lamar can flourish. And Hollywood Brown did, but it took a while, and I don't know. I believe that Lamar's capable of turning a major weapon, a guy like Garrett Wilson, into a monster. So I have no problem ranking Garrett Wilson on the Moon Men list or the Mars Men list. Nothing changes. Does he go from wide receiver 5 to 7, 5 overall, 7 overall, with Lamar to top 4 to 5 with Aaron Rodgers? Yes. Does he go from 4 to 5 with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, as wide receiver ranking, from 4 to 5 with Aaron Rodgers, to about 5 to 7, 5 to 8 with Derek Carr? Yes. But what did Derek Carr do? Derek Carr threw 1,600 yards in the direction of Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns in the direction of Devontae Adams, and 100 receptions in the directions and in the hands of Devontae Adams. So I don't have a problem with Carr making Garrett Wilson into a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. Some people have said, Smitty, if Garrett Wilson gets Derek Carr, does he drop off the Moon Men? No. Does he drop off the Mars Men? No. Derek Carr is efficient enough, and Derek Carr gets a bad rap. This was a tough situation in Las Vegas that I think that even if Aaron Rodgers goes there, he might find it a little bit tougher to do what he thinks he's going to do, just because it's kind of that organization, right? It doesn't feel like all the pieces are totally in place. I think they franchise tag Josh Jacobs if let's say Aaron Rodgers did head to Las Vegas. They franchise tag Josh Jacobs for $10 million. They bring in Aaron Rodgers for $60 million. They got to do some cap moving around and nudging around. That's definitely a certainty. But I think that we find that maybe it wasn't all Derek Carr's fault. Maybe Aaron Rodgers does very well, but the pieces aren't yet in place to win. You know, the defense, what is the reason? We don't know. What is it, coaching? Is it just the Raider way? We don't know. But it's going to be a very potent offense, just like it was with Derek Carr in terms of the receiver getting all the production. We're not worried about that. I think Darren Waller, I think Renfro, You got Darren Waller, you got Devontae Adams and a franchise tag Josh Jacobs. A lot of production to go around. It's going to be amazing to watch. I just don't know if it's a championship Super Bowl contending team like I believe, like I truly believe, like I think people laugh at when I say it, but like I believe with the New York Jets. I think the New York Jets are ready as much as people want to push back, and the Jets are the Jets, Smitty. The Jets are the Jets, Smitty. And I do think Hackett is a dangerous hire. But he's not the coach. We've seen him be a debacle as the coach. He's focused on one or two things. I don't think he's going to be as bad even over there if he is called upon to do some heavy-duty lifting. But if Aaron Rodgers goes, we know Aaron Rodgers and Hackett work well because Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. Derek Carr, they brought in some coaching pieces that have ties to both Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. So we believe that the Jets, out of all the teams on this board, out of the Dolphins, Raiders, Jets, Falcons, Bucs, Saints, every team on this list, the Jets are the most likely to land at least one of these three guys instead of having to dip down into the other territories and tiers. I believe if I was betting on this, I believe that the Jets are the most capable of landing one of these three guys versus the Raiders missing out because they can't get in the Derek Carr sweepstakes. They just let him go. So they have two options which aren't guaranteed to be traded. So the Raiders are going after Rodgers and Lamar in a trade. The Jets are in an advantage over the Raiders in terms of all this because they can go sign Derek Carr. The Miami Dolphins, same thing. Falcons, same thing. The Falcons are quickly becoming one of my favorite locations, period, for a quarterback. Like, I love Lamar Jackson in an Atlanta Falcon jersey. I love Lamar Jackson tossing to our moon man extraordinaire, Kyle Pitts.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
Give me Lamar to Kyle Pitts all day, baby.
Space Moon says.
Let's go back to the Michael Vick days. This traveling quarterback that can sling it to the tight end and look at Kyle Pitts' smile. He knows we're talking about it right now. And Kyle Pitts is ear to ear. And guess what? We also have a satellite man that's trying to get onto the Moon Men list. He's just waiting.
Satellite men. Space cadets in training.
Look at him. Drake London says, put me on the Moon Men list, Smitty. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. And if there's a trade announced, and we might even preemptively throw this Drake London, another sophomore wide receiver that doesn't have a quarterback. It's crazy. All the sophomore wide receivers on the Moon Men list don't have quarterbacks, but we're trusting in this sophomore class of wide receivers is phenomenal. Changing of the guard. And if Lamar Jackson's tossing pigskins to Kyle Pitts and Drake London, one of the best. All I'm going to say is one of the best situations we can think of. Wrong board, Smitty. There we go. Falcons, Lamar. Give it to me. That's what I want. You got two pass catchers, Pitts and London. Pitts is practically a wide receiver. We got two pass catchers that benefit greatly from Lamar Jackson in Atlanta. I love it. Atlanta's kind of becoming my underdog favorite spot for one of these quarterbacks, honestly. I mean, I don't know about Derek Carr. I could get behind it for sure. But I love Lamar in an Atlanta Falcon jersey. I'm starting to really, really enjoy the vision of this and what it could do for the Falcons. Immediately, Smitty approved that location.
You've just been Smitty approved.
So we got the Lamar topic. This is from Peter King saying he believes the Jets could seriously consider trading Lamar, or the Jets could trade for Lamar, right? And so I believe this is a very good piece of news because we want to make sure Lamar's out of Baltimore. Why do we want him out of Baltimore? Because Lamar is not going to do well in Baltimore. He continues to fail in Baltimore. We want Lamar where there's a wide receiver that can benefit, like London, who has no quarterback. Like the Bucs, we won't go there, but I'm just saying there's two wide receivers there, and Evans and Godwin that have no quarterback. Olave's got no quarterback. Garrett Wilson's got no quarterback. The Raiders have no quarterback, so Devontae Adams is quarterbackless right now. Miami Dolphins have Tua, but he's not going to stay on the field. So we need Lamar to exit a location where Lamar doesn't have weapons and nobody's benefiting from his skill set. Therefore, he's busting. And if Lamar returns to Baltimore on a big fat contract, he's a bust for me. He's a bust for me. Not maybe the whole season, but at some point, just like he has the last 3 years, he's going to fall flat on his face because he has no weapons and no support over in Baltimore. Now, the Baltimore Ravens do have this what pick do they have? The 22nd overall draft pick. Maybe they draft Addison or JSN and they finally give him a wide receiver. We can reassess at that point. But for me, I want Lamar in a place where he can feed wide receivers. And for me, my favorite place is Atlanta. I love that because he's got Kyle Pitts in London to the moon. All right, so let's jump off of the Lamar topic. Let's get over to the DeAndre Hopkins topic. So DeAndre Hopkins, as of last night, we talked about this no trade clause that he may have the Cardinals by the nads, right? Holding him by the nads, similar to how Derek Carr had the Raiders by the cojones. But now, this report 2 hours ago at this point, the Arizona Cardinals are intent on moving DeAndre Hopkins this season. His no trade clause will be no longer an obstacle. CBS Sports is reporting that Hopkins' no trade clause protections were voided by his 6-game suspension to start the 2022 season after a positive test for performance-enhancing drugs. So now he doesn't have a say over where he goes. However, I don't know that it changes too much. Thank you, D-Class. I appreciate you, pal. I appreciate everybody in here. Slats is in here, Mr. TD, Mealy, D-Class. We've got Swanson in here. We've got Who Dat Dude. We've got Fallon's in here. Klondike, appreciate you all. TJ, we got Max, TJ Max. We got Vamp, we got Thomas, we got everybody in here. Terry, we got Dan first in the building. Peanut Butter Cup second in the building. Dan, Frake, Mealy, and Melvin, and Max, and Nathan, and Thomas were all first in the building today. Appreciate you. Hopkins, his PED positive test last year voids his no trade clause. He does not have control over where he's going, but there's no quarterback in Arizona. So, is it going to be worse? Not to mention, I don't think teams that don't have a good signal caller are going to really be inquiring. Think about it. You're going to trade for DeAndre Hopkins when you don't have a now situation. No. He doesn't have to worry. I don't think he ultimately has to worry because any team that's trading for DeAndre, he's got 1 year left. He's got 1 year left if he's lucky, right? One elite year left, maybe a second lingering around year, like a couple like A.J. Green. Don't tell Hugh Jackson. But A.J. Green was nothing at the end of his career there. He was a nothing burger for multiple years. He just sat there like a rock. And it's unfortunate because A.J. Green was an absolute monster in his prime. But Hopkins has one more potential year. We don't even know for sure. One more potential elite year. And then he turns into A.J. Green for a couple years if he stays in the NFL. And I think he will because he's got an ego. He thinks he's going to be the best receiver in the league this year. And that's good. You want your receiver to feel that way. Hopkins has one more year. And then Terry says 2 more years. We'll take it year by year after 1 more year. How's that, Terry? That's a little more open-minded of me. He's got 1 more year, and then we take it year to year. We say to ourselves in the offseason, how did he do? Not good? Okay, well, he's done. Oh, he did really well, surprisingly well. Maybe he's got 1 more year, Terry. We'll take it year by year. But we'll say he's got the 1 more year for now, okay? Is a team going to acquire Hopkins if they don't have a win-now mentality? No, I don't think so. They'd be dumb to. Is a team going to acquire Hopkins that doesn't have a signal caller? No, they would be dumb to. Why would a team with no passing situation bring in a wide receiver that's got 1 year left with no quarterback support? It's just not going to happen. A team like the Bears could bring him in to give Justin Fields a weapon for 1 to 2 years. He could go somewhere where there's a lot of chance for him to be productive and help a team get over the hump. He could go to the Chargers. Would be very, very interesting. Imagine him in a Chargers uniform for 1 year with Justin Herbert, who could lose Keenan Allen. And so my favorite locations for DeAndre Hopkins would be the Bears. So I'll put it up here. So Chicago would be one of the top locations. And the reason I think that's the number 1 location is that DeAndre Hopkins has always played with a mobile quarterback. So his ability to help Fields out by catching footballs while Fields is scrambling, the change in route, understanding what it means to catch a football from a scrambling quarterback. It's a very different game. So Hopkins is the number one player in the entire National Football League in playing with the mobile quarterback. So Chicago would be number one. The Chargers would be my number two landing spot for DeAndre Hopkins to help someone for the now. And so we'll give me the Chargers, give me the Chicago Bears. These would be my two landing spots for DeAndre where he can impact immediately. Herbert needs a speedster. Sure, Mr. TD, but you can do that too. To suggest that you don't go after Hopkins when you have no wide receivers. You got Mike Williams. And you're probably getting rid of Keenan Allen. That's the rumor anyway. And if that rumor is true, it doesn't matter if you need speedster. You need to go get speedsters another way and not pass on the opportunity of bringing in a possession wide receiver that can really, really help. Buffalo, yeah, Buffalo would be a fantastic place. Let's put Buffalo on this list. The Buffalo Bills would be a great landing spot. I mean, there are a lot of landing spots that would be phenomenal. I think some of these teams that fell short that have Super Bowl capability, Super Bowl appearing capability, like the Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know that they would go after him or not. Maybe they would. That would be interesting. Give Joe Burrow, Hopkins, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. I don't think Chase would be affected too much because Chase is a target hog, but you never know. Maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want the wide receiver room to stay the same for Burrow. It'd be good for Burrow, maybe bad for Hopkins, or bad for Jamar Chase, or bad for Higgins, or whatever. But I do believe Buffalo, Chargers, Chicago, in this order: Chicago, Chargers, Buffalo would be phenomenal. Eagles, I don't think the Eagles would go after them. The Eagles got a lot of wide receivers and the room's crowded, but you never know. They could. Like I said, any of these teams that fell short, either making the Super Bowl or fell short that feel like they should have been in the Super Bowl, they're going to look at Hopkins, I think, to say, hey, can we acquire this guy? The Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, imagine if they acquired him, but I don't know what he's going to go for. Third rounder? Like it's gonna be painful to watch the Cardinals just give him away. Because if we don't do anything with that measly third round pick, fourth round, like what is it going to be? It's not going to be a second rounder, I don't think. Maybe it is. If it's a second, okay, then I feel pretty good. But if it's going to be like a third or fourth round pick, that's painful. Because like you got to land that pick. If you don't, then, I'd rather have Hopkins for 2 years or a year in hopes that the Cardinals can do something. But it's tough to say. Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are going to go after him. But Dallas, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe they'll trade him to an NFC team. I don't know. It's tough to say. Sometimes teams are a little picky about where they send a player. Sometimes they're not. As long as it's not interdivision, they don't care. D Hop next to Metcalf, maybe, but that's interdivision. I mean, he maybe be fired, but it's not going to happen. The Cardinals are not going to trade Hopkins inside the division, Thomas. So that's probably not going to happen, bro. But would it be fire? It would be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. Good for Geno, but it's not going to happen. Very, very rarely you ever going to see a team trade in with another team in the same division, let alone the conference. You know what I mean? What is AZ expecting in trade? I think a second would be a lot. I don't know that they're even getting a second. Maybe they are. Maybe they get a second and a fourth, or maybe they get a second. If they trade him for a third rounder or something, I'm going to be very pissed that they just gave him away, because a third rounder is no lock at all. And so I won't like that at all. But anyway, so we got the Hopkins news. We got the Lamar news. I want to get on here and do a breaking news video. I'm going to open the phone lines here. If you guys want to discuss any of this, I'd be glad to discuss it with you. The phone lines are open. Dial into the show. Appreciate you all being here.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Gallup was a bust. Yeah, Gallup has been a bust. I didn't believe in Gallup this year. I didn't know why everyone was kind of like saying, "Oh, Gallup could be a good find this year." No thanks. No thanks. Let's see here. D Hop makes anyone better. Mr. TD's a big D Hop guy. Big D. I like the support there, Mr. T. I like the loyalty you got to D-Hop. Breaking news. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate you. You're the man. Mitch, I work for you. So, congrats. I'd take D-Hop for a third. And how much is D-Hop owed on his contract? Let's pull up his contract right now. I work for all of you, so congratulations. We're doing well. Deandre Hopkins contract. Let's pull this up. Let's figure out what D Hopkins contract looks like, so we know how attractive of an acquire he is for a team that's going to be looking. D Hop is he's a good player, obviously, but he struggled the last couple years to not only stay healthy, but that whole PED thing really set the Cardinals back, and it was just a shame that we had to go through it. So Cardinals are probably a little turned off by that. And we'll see. Let's see. D-Hop's contract is as follows on screen. I'm dropping it. 2023 dead cap of $22.6 million, which makes it difficult to imagine. I mean, that's a lot. 2024, he's got a dead cap of 11.3. He's owed 19.4 mil. So I guess the thinking is for the Cardinals, though, is the dead cap sucks of 22.6 mil. But when you aren't in a position to win right now, and you're kind of in rebuild mode, when you think about this, the freed up 19.4 million kind of offsets that dead cap money, in that you can go and try and bring in support to build around Kyler and build around this team. And then you got the 14.9 million in 2024 freed up. So, you know, it's more about like we can eat the losses and negatives now and then stroll on into 2024 with a whole better situation by getting rid of him now. So it's a hit. It's a hit, but it's like, you know, the salary. What can they do with the salary amount of money? What can they do with 2024, that situation, to get out of it now? But you know, you never know. I like holding on to him. Maybe this new staff's going to be like, you know what? No, we're going for it. I don't know. All I know is the Cardinals aren't winning the division, and the Cardinals are going to be really hard pressed to do anything better than finish like 5th or 6th in the wild card race when there's 3 spots to grab. When we've got Kyler Murray out for, I would say, at least half of the season. You never know, but you know that's going to be it's going to be strange. So, hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. Football cap is weird. It certainly is. Let's see. Let's see. Debo only 8 minutes of cap. What's it saying? Debo only 8 million cap hit this year. Debo's not getting cut. What are people talking about? Debo? Are people running a rumor out there about Debo getting cut or something? That's crazy. Never was a fan of any Kyler. Never was a fan of Kyler. Too small. Another reason I see Bryce Young also struggling to stay healthy in the NFL. It depends on his size, what he measures in at. I'm not going to lie. I do hope he measures in at a 6'0" and not like a 5'11" or and a half or something like that. But Bryce Young, as long as Bryce Young's 6 foot, I'm going to be okay. I know Kyler Murray is a worrisome formula for somebody that's looking at Bryce Young, but they're two different players. Bryce Young's much better passer. I think the capability of him is much better, at least. Kyler can throw. He's not a horrible thrower. I see a lot better game, a lot of natural raw talent in Bryce Young in terms of being a quarterback. Kyler is one of the most electric runners in the game. He really can be. I don't know about coming off the ACL, how well he's going to scramble for the next couple of years. Usually it does hamper you quite a bit. But Kyler Murray is an amazing scrambler. He's got good skills. But this is one of those things where it's like I see Bryce Young, as long as he measures in good, I see him as being a lot better player than Kyler Murray. I think Bryce Young could be, and this is just my opinion. I understand other people have different opinions, and that's great. That's what makes this thing absolutely fantastic that we play this fantasy football. But I see Bryce Young as being real good passing prospect on top of being a runner. But that's me. Travis says, no, the rumor that Debo could be trade target for the Patriots. Anything's possible. I'll probably do a live stream on that topic because it does seem like it's a little rampant right now. So we might come back on a separate live stream on a Debo live stream. So look for that in a second. I might stop this live stream, go live in like 10, 15 minutes on Debo Samuel. That's how we roll. And I like to compartmentalize the videos so they're easier to find and they get different traction. You know what I mean? Like if I throw a breaking news Debo Samuel piece at the end of this, no one can find it. So where this is Lamar Hopkins, we're bailing and we'll come back and do another video. So I'll dig into some news on that and then maybe come circle back and do another Debo Samuel breaking news, or we'll break that on the 7 p.m. show. Breeze was 6 foot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Bryce Young's 6 foot, then he's Drew Brees. You know what I mean? We're fine with that. If he's under 6 foot, then we'll have some concerns. Bryce Young has the it factor. Kyler doesn't. Exactly. I like Bryce Young a lot. Bryce Young, if I could trade Kyler Murray for Bryce Young, I'd do it in a millisecond. And so the Cardinals with this 3 pick, I think Stroud goes 1, whoever trades with the Bears and gets the 1 pick. So the Cardinals need this 2 pick or the 1 pick in order to get Bryce Young. Maybe the Texans pass on him though. You know, like that would be amazing. And I don't know that the Cardinals have the balls to do it because I think this new coach likes Kyler, and it's disheartening to me because I know Kyler's not it. I know he's not it. I'm a Cardinal fan. I'm in Arizona. My gut tells me that this guy is not it. In my opinion, Kyler is a garbage leader. He's a crybaby. And he's not a winner in the NFL. He's a winner in his past, but he's not a winner in the NFL. He's worried about business over football. He's worried about his contract over football. He's worried about everything over football. And now he's injured. And it's like, I don't know what the trade market is for him, but I know the trade market would be decent enough because look at all the teams that need passers. You're telling me the Falcons, if they don't get Lamar, or the Bucks or the Saints or the Colts or the Panthers wouldn't take Kyler Murray in some trade where maybe we lose a little value because we can't really get rid of him for what we want injured, but we draft Bryce Young. If we can get Bryce Young, if we're sitting there on the three pick on the clock and Bryce Young falls to number 3, we should take him. We should take him and do damage control after. And you can say I'm crazy. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I see something special in Bryce Young. And if Bryce Young fell, we should take him. The Arizona Cardinals should take him and do damage control later and trade Kyler away, similar to how we drafted Kyler. Kingsbury had balls, at least. I liked Kingsbury in a lot of ways. I do think it was maybe time to part ways. I don't know. Part of me goes back and forth on it. I think everyone's too hard on Kingsbury. He had a pretty difficult situation. And he did have his team firing on all cylinders for half of a season when everybody was healthy and they were the best team in football. So, and they had a pretty good defense and everything to boot. So I don't know that I totally agree with all the Kingsbury hate. I think he'll do very well as an offensive coordinator somewhere, especially if they bring him into an attack where he can do his thing. But it's like, I don't know. It's very tough to say that if I was on the clock and Bryce Young fell, I would take him. I would take him and do damage control after that. No question about it. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. I'm gonna be live. There's gonna be probably a piece of breaking news that happens before the 7 p.m. show because that's what today is, and it might be Debo Samuel. So live at 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, live whenever news breaks, like this very video right here. Your boy Smitty's coming back to probably do a Debo Samuel live or another piece of breaking news live stream material. I'm live at midnight most every other night, and that will be probably tonight since it's Thursday. To do some best ball drafts on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Get on over to Underdog Fantasy using promo code Smitty and get up to $100 bonus match, dollar for dollar. And most importantly, like if you want to do these best ball drafts later tonight with me, doing real live drafting with me, you got to do this now. You got to click the link. I'll put it in the live chat. Actually, it's in the description. Go down to the description. It's in the description. Click the link. Use promo code Smitty. and sign up now so you're not trying to do that last second and missing out on drafting. So I will see you all again live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever news breaks, and then live pretty much every other evening. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all probably in a few minutes. I don't know. Thank you all. Oh, do we have a super chat? Oh, I'm sorry, bro. This is Javi, are you here, bro? Are you here, my guy? Hopefully you're still here, bro. Let me know if you're still here. $20 holler, and I just sat there on it. $20 holler. Let's go, mashed potatoes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. My bad, bro. My bad. I can't believe I sat on that. I feel like a fool. I feel like a fool. Javi, are you still here, bro? Are you still here? Javi says this. Dopest channel. Been what? God, now I feel like crap. I feel like crap. This guy are you still here, Jav? Guys, give me a $20 hauler. I missed it. This is Dopest channel. Been watching for 3 weeks. I believe you're gonna help me get the belt in 6 leagues. Love the insight and ideology. Outside the box strategy. Smitty to Mars. Is he still here? We're waiting for a message. Javi. Come on, Javi. Come on, Javi. Is Javi still here? Let's go. Let's go. We're waiting. Javi, drop a message, Javi. Let us know you're in the building, Javi. Drum roll. Javi. Javi. Come on, Javi. I don't think he's here. Son of a bee. Javi, I'm sorry, bro. Come back, Javi. Come back. Javi, come back. Come back. Appreciate you, Hobbs. Hopefully he sees this. I'll be back. Debo Samuel news, whatever it is, breaking news. You know how we roll. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. no matter what. But then the breaking news on top. See you all in a bit. Peace out. Javi's the man. Camara, probably back on Camara news.